Hi, Miguel Kakaninden here, back with another Naruto vlog. Today we're doing Volume 3, Dreams, and, stuff goes downhill. It looks pretty promising, for our heroes eventually. Initially. Uh, as they begin training under Kakashi, learning how to manipulate their chakras to basically direct their energy, their whatever magic that they seem to have, in order to use their abilities more effectively. And they learn how to do this by climbing trees, by basically walking up trees and then walking upside down trees, which is cool. I'm really eager to see how else these abilities can be manipulated to perform such actions. And interestingly enough, despite the heated rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto really, hating Sasuke and showing it a lot more than Sasuke tends to do, it's actually Sakura who manages to master this first, which is interesting. I really find it interesting that the person that we know the least about of the out of the three, is the one who actually manages to master her chakras first, which I like. It gives us a little more. It gives us a better idea of what Sakura is capable of how she approaches challenges, and how she learns all the stuff that you need to learn in order to be a full-fledged ninja. And that said, she does continue to really look up to Sasuke and look down on Naruto. And I'm really eager to learn more about her and see how she develops. I feel like the one thing I will say, having read 3 volumes so far, is that the character development is slow. It's there, but it's definitely very slow. We see Naruto, he's slowly progressing from his prankster self to a more capable ninja. We see Sasuke learn to open up to his teammates very, very slowly. Sakura, I feel like, is the slowest of the 3, in that we really haven't seen her grow out of trying to impress Sasuke. We've seen her grow a little bit more. We've seen her come to accept Naruto a little more, but she still very much looks down on him. And I feel like these are my predictions going forward. I feel like the turning point is probably going to be whenever we find out whatever Sasuke's revenge, or whoever he wants to kill, shows up, and we finally learn more about that. And we find out what caused his edgelordiness and how his teammates are going to react to that. Especially in this volume, we find out that Kakashi, despite being very, very capable against his own students, which I suppose makes sense, he's still outmatched a lot by, I wrote down his name so I won't mess it up this video, Zabuza. Who is, by the way, yes, he is still alive, he's still kicking, and he's still coming after them, and that's why they're training. We also find out more about Tazuna, the bridge builder that they were assigned to protect. We find out that he has a grandson named Inari, whose father was a bit of a hero, a village hero, before Gato came along and actually chopped off his arms and crucified him, which, wow, that's really intense. That's a lot to see. While we're on the topic of Gato, we've seen him here and there, but the main physical threat is Zabuza and Haku, who are coming after our heroes, who are hired basically by Gato to stop them and to kill Tazuna. And the fact that they are ninjas that are fun to fight makes Zabuza even more even more eager to take them out. But we learn more about how Gato is, really really has this very villainous control, villainous grip over the village. Or not the village, sorry, the land of the waves, I believe it was, which is a very poor, a very not a very poor place. Doesn't even have its own ninja clan to protect it. So what Tazuna is trying to do is he's trying to build a bridge to bring in wealth to facilitate trade and make the land of the wave, put it back on the map, basically. But this will really impede Gato, in that it will help loosen his control over the land. By the way, the thing about Gato, I'm still not fully buying Gato's appearance. He's literally everything else is old fashioned. They're wearing ninja gear. They're like going around on little like rowboats and stuff, wearing old fashioned hats. And we haven't really seen very much technology, electronic technology, or something like that. And then Gato comes in. He's wearing a suit and tie, and I'm like, that's what. That took me completely out of the world for a second. And like, given we still haven't seen much of this world yet, so maybe there are like entire like metropolitan New York style cities out there that I haven't even encountered yet. But like, I feel as of right now that takes me very much out of the world. And we see also a construction site with like cranes and everything. That's where they're building the bridge. So that kind of gives me an idea of what technology is available. My issue is like, if this technology is available here in the Land of the Waves, which is a bit of a poorer area in the world, right? Why is it not available? Why have we not seen it anywhere else in the world? Granted, we've been in Konohagakure Village for quite a bit of volumes 1 and 2, so we haven't seen. There might be like some sort of cultural thing that involves why that technology is not used there, or maybe it's a limitation or something. I just really want the feel of this world to be. I really want it to be consistent. I hope we get to a point where I can understand, okay, this is what the technology is like, this is how people dress, these are the elements of modernity that are included in this world, and these are the elements that remain, that keep that feel of something that's like, from ninja times. But I digress. That's just my opinion on the feel of the world. A lot of Volume 3 is based around, not only Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura training to take on Zabuza, but also we learn a lot about the struggles of the village, which I really like. That's a good way to set up this, really climactic battle. And I realize it's not the climax of the whole series. I still have a ways to go, I'd imagine, before getting there. But like the climax of at least this particular part in their journey. But when that climax does come, things go downhill pretty quickly. Inari's mother, Tsunami. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know, like here in the West, we pronounce it tsunami, like because it's a big tidal wave. But I digress. But she gets taken hostage, and this forces Inari to jump into action, despite being a very little kid, probably with no ninja training, probably not capable of doing very much against these samurai. And like earlier, he had been taunted by Naruto. Not taunted, but like really angered by Naruto. The two get on each other's nerves. I really like I really like the dynamic between Naruto and Inari. Both of them have grown up without their parents, and without a father figure, really very much quite alone. But they've dealt with it in very different ways. Naruto deals with it by with his pranks initially, and then by doing his best to become the very best ninja that he can with his, he actually has a very great amount of optimism. Meanwhile, Inari has become very he's become jaded. He doesn't think they're heroes anymore, and he thinks that it would be very, very idiotic for anyone to go up against Gato. And these two, it's interesting how very similar circumstances can cause two different people to develop two different, very different outlooks on life. Which makes their dynamic really, really interesting. And it helps that the two can learn from each other. Well, Inari learns from Naruto more than Naruto learns from Inari. I'm starting to wonder if Naruto learns from anyone, honestly. But it's a dynamic that I really, really enjoy. As much as Inari sometimes feels like he's not a major part of a story, I really like when he is part of the story. Especially when so Naruto comes in and helps save Tsunami before coming in with Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi to take on Zabuza and Haku on the bridge. And I will say the one thing that confuses me, and I'm not sure if this is specific to Naruto or if it's a similar, runs in a similar vein to a bunch of shonen manga, but I sometimes find the action scenes very difficult to follow. Usually I'm really good at like, okay, that's what happened in this panel, and that's what happened in this panel, and that's what happened in this panel. But sometimes I get stuck on a panel and I'm looking at it, like I take a look at it for maybe like 2 minutes, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in it, and it just doesn't work. I can't help but it doesn't process in my head, if that makes sense. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's a fault of the book of Naruto itself, or if it's a fault of shonen manga in general. But personally, that's something that I struggled with. So if any of you guys have any tips for overcoming that, do let me know. Anyway, so yeah, things go downhill. Sasuke. So it turns out that Kakashi's Sharingan Eye, which we saw in the previous volume, Zabuza has found a way to counter that using his mist powers, which is it's interesting seeing how Zabuza figured this out and how he plans to counter it, because it seems to work. It really does seem to work. As for Naruto and Sasuke, they get stuck within this ice mirror thing with Haku, and that separates them from Sakura and Kakashi and Tazuna, who they're actively trying to protect. Naruto, as usual, he's not as capable as Sasuke, clearly, and Sasuke is very much able to dodge dying, basically. Haku continually aims for parts of his body that would result in fatalities, but Sasuke is very expertly able to dodge them. But what's interesting is when Haku finally starts going for Naruto instead, Sasuke actually sacrifices his life to protect Naruto, which is interesting because, as I recall, when we first met Sasuke, he was very much not... He wanted to be a lone wolf, right? He didn't enjoy having his teammates around. And so the fact that he actually went and he sacrificed his life for Naruto, confessing, by the way, that he always hated him, which is further substantiating their rivalry. It's interesting. It's a very interesting development in Sasuke's character. We've seen him train with these people, and now he's growing a fondness for them to the point where he's willing to take acupuncture needles in the neck for them, right? And I like that. But things actually go a little bit south, and this is where the cliffhanger comes in, which I'm really, really excited. Upon seeing Sasuke sacrifice his life for him, Naruto actually goes ballistic. And the very last panel on the very last page is basically the nine-tailed fox just like erupting out of him, and now I'm really interested to see where this goes. That's such a cliffhanger. And I actually finished this volume yesterday, and I was like, I gotta film this. I gotta do my reaction so that I can go to the next volume and see what this is all about, because I really want to see how because Sakura and Sasuke supposedly don't know that the nine-tailed fox spirit is inside Naruto, because none of the children knew. So now that now that Naruto is unleashing the fox spirit, I'm very curious to see how everyone reacts to it. Now that we know that the fox spirit can be unleashed, what are the consequences of that? How is Naruto going to suppress it? Or is he going to suppress it? Is he going to use it maybe as a tool? Which would be interesting. How will his relationship with Sakura and Sasuke change? How will his relationship with, well, Kakashi probably already knew. But how will his relationship with, himself change? It's really that I think is a very, very effective cliffhanger, because it leaves you because we don't know enough about the fox spirit to see what can happen when it is unleashed. So I'm really excited to move on to the fourth volume. By the way, this book included the first 3 volumes, so I will no longer be using this book. I'll probably keep it though. I'll definitely keep it. I probably want to. Depending on how this goes, I'm gonna go back and read this. But I'll see you next time for Volume 4 in a brand new book.